the signals. They can be fucking innovators in technology and things of that nature. See, at that point, we can create our own PACs. Y'all don't know what a PAC is. That's a political action council. Because these brothers will be the people who got the bread to do it. They'll have the influence to do it. And then they'll be able to back Jungle Brother when he runs for office as alderman. He'll be able to impact Gun Buddy when he wanted to be a committeeman. And now we are engaged in the process. See, because it's easy to sit back and say, "Oh man," like my black ass used to do. "I ain't voting, man. Fuck that shit." But you know what? If you don't vote and you jam one of these folks up, guess what? Now the circuit court judge, guess what? I was talking to a friend last night. When you look at the circuit court judge who told a white boy, "We ain't gonna send you to jail for raping that girl because that'll ruin your life." And white boy, "We ain't sending you to the penitentiary because you suffer from white privilege." Now we got Lil James and Tyrone on the bench, and Nook and Kiwan, they ain't going to jail either. See, it's a way to balance things out. And then when you present your case like the brother Dred Scott did, and there was a white nationalist on the bench and told him, "Oh no, you right, but we ain't honoring that." Now we got somebody on the bench. Now we got Big Illinois on the bench, and Big Illinois is the dude saying, "You know what? I have to honor that." And you grant your issues, and then we can move towards things like reparations. The reason I'm saying these things is, and I'm speaking so ill about our white counterparts, and I don't mean all white people. I'm talking about most of them though, because guess what? 20% of the people in this country that are not from our community, from the white community, they say we deserve reparations. That I'm giving you credit for the 20 then, man. Because guess what? When bondage ended in 1863 and the Civil War was ended and won by people that look like me and you, if you don't think we won the Civil War, history lesson. The war started in 61. 63, the North was getting their draws kicked into their asses. Lincoln said, "I'm gonna free the slaves in the South," which is virtually impossible because that's like me going down, just like Trump going to Mexico and say, "Everybody get the day off." You don't run this country, you can't do that. The South was a different country at that time. But allow me to digress. He freed the brothers in the South, and then they doing laundry and they digging ditch and picking up northern soldiers. A year later, he get them guns. 6 months after he get them guns, the war's over and the North won. Who freed who? We freed y'all. Y'all asked to be slaves right now. Y'all have been dealing with this shit right now. But, as I'm going to stay right there in 65, they gave 40,000 people who look like us 40 acres mule, a mule, and $100. They tilled that land. Y'all ready for this? They tilled that land, meaning they grew the crops, got everything ready to go for harvest, and they said, no, we're taking that back. Gave people who were known as slave owners the land back and introduced your black ass to sharecropping, which my great-grandmother, my cousin Cynthia, wrote a book, let us know that our grandmother made 18 cents a year. 18 cents a year. You hear that? So, you got me in bondage for a couple hundred years. And then I owe you money. Ain't that a bitch? But, and then you got the Homesteader Act. It gave out 160 acres of land and free education on how to till the land because they don't know how to till the land because we've been tilling it the whole time. So you've been watching me do the work, but your ass you can't even feed yourself. Somebody has to teach you how to feed yourself. So when you're looking at those situations, this is why we must, and I say must, get together in these small groups. Look, I've been saying this since I've been doing podcasts. At some point, our community must take a page. So most of us don't want to look into the history books and find out who we are. What we have to do is look to the left in one community, look to the right, and replicate what they do. That's all we have to do. Just don't nobody want to, I'm not going to say nobody, just a lot of us don't want to read and do the research and do the damn scholarly work. What we're going to have to do is this. We're going to have to look at other communities. Like, I'm going to go straight to the Middle East. At one point, they used to all roll together and they was terrorists and they'll swoop down on them and get them. But now they break into cells. You and 10 or 15 of your friends, you will be each other's sponsors. Like I told you, this fucking white supremacist thing is like drug addiction. A lot of us are addicted to it. So we're going to be able to sit in groups and have conversations, and our white allies will not be allowed in those conversations because some of us are so addicted to it, we're unable to speak freely when they're around. You know what I mean? Get all soft-mouthed and, I don't want to offend nobody. Hey, man, ain't nobody worried about offending us. So you're going to have these individual groups all throughout the country with one primary goal, the advancement of our people. Seriously, we must create culture. We already have it primarily, but the way to ensure culture stands, we must create rituals. You see how everybody has, like, you watch these movies and people pile into these small groups, like with the organized crime, with Italian street gangs. That's what that is. I'm not calling them damn organized crime. That's an Italian street gang. We already have that as well. The four predominant gangs in the United States of America are the Crips and Bloods on the West Coast, and the GDs and the Vice Lords in the Midwest. Gangster Disciples and the Vice Lords, those who don't know what the GD is. What we need to do is start linking up and creating these organizations, because a lot of the brothers out west, I listen to them a lot. I'm tuned in. Don't think I'm some damn expert. I'm not trying to tell you I'm an expert, but I'm kind of plugged in. A lot of these dudes from these strip gangs in Los Angeles and these blood gangs in Los Angeles are starting to get together and drop them guns and move forward. We need to do that nationwide, because once you create these rituals, like going to a community and galvanizing and 10, 15, 20, even if it's everybody on the block, just imagine if this happened. If the brother Jungle, him and his wife had a baby, and everybody on the block bought them $25, $50, $100 to help them through that situation, it would endear Jungle to that community. Then, we continue to do that throughout the community, and then we work together to have Sharice as the alderman, and then Sharice gets funding so Chris could open up a corner store, and RC could open up a laundromat, and we shop exclusively there. See, these are the rituals and situations we have to go through. I told y'all, our pastor's name is Reverend James Dodd. His father told me, we from the same neighborhood, his father told me that when he was a boy, this Jewish woman used to send him to the store and pay him an extra nickel to go down to the Jewish store. When you are acting like that, you don't have to worry about people infiltrating. Now, if we're working as a unit, and then we have these rituals set up, and that was just a brief piece of ritual, what we need to do is do like the Black Panther Party, self-defense. And hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, like the street gangs here in Chicago. In order to be a member of the street gangs here in Chicago, you have to learn what they call as literature. You must learn all the rules and regulations in order to be a vice lord or to be a gangster. We need to have standards for our community. If you be a member of this community, you are going to be philanthropic. You're going to look out for our children. You're going to look out for our women. You're going to look out for our brothers. You will shop with each other. And on and on and on. I'm doing this off the cuff. I didn't write them all out. But I am going to create an organization right here in Chicago for some brothers. And I'm going to reach out to the brothers like John Brother and my man E-Ray and my man RC. And I want them to create the same type of organizations in their communities. Because see, then when somebody hurts somebody in our community, you're going to have to deal with somebody in our community. We're not see, because look at it this way. When you were a little boy and somebody put their hands on you and you went home crying, your big brother, your uncle, your pops, or whoever was the prevailing older man in that house or woman in that house said, you better go back, y'all better go down there and get him. And when you said, you better go down there and get him, you and all your cousins went down there and dusted that dude off, and y'all came back home laughing. Right? So I'm not calling, hey, those were men who killed another man. Off-duty cop is not a cop, he's a man. And if you go down there and dust them off, hey man, that's assault. And I'm not encouraging violence, but you know what? I used to be a cop. I used to be a car-carrying cop. Until one day, Lonzo Craig called his cousin Puffy and had to run up on me. And I realized I was a half a head taller than Puffy. And I fucked Puffy up, and I ain't never ran no more since that day. Straight up. Because I wasn't running no more. That day, I just stood still and said, hey, you got to whoop my ass. And then this dude ran up on me, was shorter than me, and I fucked him up. And that's how you gonna get some respect. When you see somebody fucking up one of your brothers and you holding up the camera, we gonna get somebody up off while you gonna arrest our brother and send him to the jail. And then I'm gonna fuck you up, fuck the dude with the camera. So 2 people on warning. You gonna help and stop recording, and you gonna never put your hands on another brother like that. See, the thing is, there's no fear because we are splintered. We're going to 30 different directions. We're going to 30 different directions, and we are not united. You cannot be united. Just hold up your hand and say, I'm ready to fight, and spread your fingers apart. You gonna poke a motherfucker in the eye to death? Nah. You have to be prepared to fight. And you have to be prepared to bring the fight to somebody. Just imagine if every time a cop fucked up a brother, instead of just arresting him, just imagine if 4 or 5 brothers stalked that cop, waited for him to get out of his car, wait for him to leave his neighborhood bar, and beat the hell out of every one of them every time it happened. I guarantee you, after a while, word will get out. There's a team of brothers running around, fucking people up. It'll take about 4 cops to get beat to sleep before they start arresting people properly. And again, this is why we have to go into law enforcement. This is why because then you got brothers in the cars with these white nationalists. And they damn, if you looking like, yeah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. And well, you don't know these people. I do know these people. Because guess what? I grew up in one of the toughest neighborhoods in America. There's these dudes, they call them 21 Jump Street. They were some young brothers. They'll hem you up. They was talking to you. And they get talking crazy to you. But it wasn't to talk crazy to you that made you be in fear. It was to talk crazy to you and make it shit on. And people throughout that damn neighborhood, no matter what fashion of gang they was from, whatever they was doing, respected the 2 brothers because they understood this is a grown man's gang of cops and robbers. They the cops and we the robbers. It ain't terrorists versus the people. We must infiltrate government. We must. Because when you infiltrate government, you have access to the funds that are readily available to people who know about it. Once you do that, you can rebuild your own damn community. Stop begging. Oh man, y'all got to give us jobs. Create your own wealth. You must create your own wealth. If you want to do this and do this properly, you are going to have to create your own wealth. And when you create your own wealth, you will put yourself in a position of power. You stop running your ass out and buying all these expensive ass clothes. Stop going your ass out and buying all this expensive ass liquor and buying these expensive ass cars. We keep making shit cool. Most people thought that shit was